Hey everyone, Chef, welcome back to Empirical Sahara in Planet Zoo. We're going to be working on Caracals today, I believe. So last episode we put together the American donkey habitat. I did a little bit of brickwork, and by a little bit of brickwork I mean I finished the entire curb around the path for the Somali Wild Ass and for the American Standard Donkey. So that's done. It took about as long as I expected it to, and it was extremely tedious, but I actually think it came out pretty well, and I'll show you as soon as we're through the loading screen here. I always hope that the game loads slightly faster than it actually does. I should really just cut in as soon as we actually get to the screen, but you know, whatever. So here's the curb. Curb is looking real nice, I think. We had to do a little bit of terrain manipulation here along the back. There's a couple places where it goes up a bit, a couple places where it goes down, because we've obviously got the uneven riverbank back here, but overall, I think this part of the zoo is looking really neat. I want to dress these walls up a little bit. I think that the stone, just the naked stone, is a little too boring, but I don't exactly know what I want to do with it yet, so we're going to procrastinate on that. And in the meantime, we're going to go and take care of this caracal habitat. So a lot of this is going to change. I have an idea in my head. I don't exactly know how to do it, but we're gonna give it a try. The first thing we're gonna do is change all this to null barrier. And that door might need to go as well. All of the climbing frames need to go. I cannot believe that I never grouped these. That is going to cost us a little extra time. So the idea is I want to try and make a canyon. Can I have you select everything? Path extras, barriers, water, habitat objects. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Get all this out here. The idea is I want to try and make a canyon. And we're going to push this habitat way back as a result, because they're going to need a lot more space for what I want to do. So this is going to come all the way back to about here, and then it's coming back to about here. Guests are not going to like this. It's going to make it very difficult to see the caracals, but they're just going to have to find a way to deal with it. And then for our terrain, first of all, I want to get rid of this barrier. I want to get my terrain manipulation right up close against the path. Yeah, that can stay. That's fine. We're going to go for our stamp tool. We're going to grab cube. Rotate the cube around a little bit. And we're going to make this part in the middle relatively deep. Maybe 7? 7's a little too deep. Let's go with 6. We're going to go down about 6 meters. So we're going to stamp this in here, stamp this in here, stamp this in here, turn it just a little bit, and then stamp, 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 and maybe like one. So that's something like that. We'll go ahead and smooth off the face of this just a little bit. Something like that. Looks pretty good. We can cover up these rough edges later. Ooh, actually it's kind of getting rid of them. Maybe we won't need to. Maybe the smoothing tool is giving us everything we need. You know, it kind of is. A little bit of that, and then we're going to flatten the foundation. I can go intensity 100% here. We're going to push this all the way back to about here. So we're going to have a big gully in the middle. And then we'll smooth out some of these corners as well. And then on the left side over here, or on the right side over here, and on the left side over here, we're going to have some big rock work. Actually going to push this back even further. To about there, and then maybe to about here. And then come in here, grab nature, rocks, filter me on desert, filter me on Africa, even though it doesn't change anything. It's more for the principle. And then sort me by price descending. I want some big guys. Give me random rotation. And we're going to start at the edge of the canyon. We're just going to line it like this. Pop in a couple just to give us an edge. We're going to move these back by 1. Actually, maybe by 2. Yeah, I think we'll do by 2. The idea is... I guess I haven't covered the idea. The idea is that we have like a rock plateau over here where the caracal can chill. We have a rock plateau over here where the caracal can chill. And then in the middle, in this gully, we have a bunch of rock work and like dead plants and bushes and climbing frames and all kinds of stuff that they can use to just go and wander around down there. Or if they want to, they can just walk across all the branches to get from one side to the other. That's roughly what we're going for. So in order to do that, I'm just going to build out roughly where I think the 2 sides of the canyon are going to go. We'll run it out to about here, but I want to give them space on each end where they can just kind of chill out. And that's what these rocks are going to represent. So now that we've got that assembled, now we want to set about how high these rocks are going to go. And I think we're going to have them go about this high. This is going to be our boundary for the exhibit. So we're going to think a little bit about how these rock faces look from the outside. These are going to be visible. And we're just going to demarcate where we want this exhibit to end. And then we're going to go in and fill in all the gaps and make it look a little bit more natural. Because right now it is not looking that. And we also need to be careful with caracals because caracals can climb. So near the back, we'll slowly have it taper down. And it'll give way to a more natural fence, and we'll probably have to put a little bit of fence up there, otherwise they can just walk up that. We'll put in a little bit of terracing here. These will be interesting rock structures that they can climb on. And then this here is going to be solid fence. I don't want guests to be able to look through right here. Caracals are relatively shy. I'm going to make them go around a little bit further. So let's grab all of this and let's make this an object. We're going to merge you into a group, and then we can go ahead and edit the group in case we need to reposition all of this. So enter the group edit mode, grab like these rocks, duplicate these, pull them out a bit, pull them down. And then we'll go grab some more rocks. Now we want to start varying up our shapes a little bit. Get some unusual shaped rocks in here. Start to break up the repetitive look of all the stuff we used at the top. Bump some of these up in height. We don't just have an unbroken straight line right at the top. A little bit of that. A little bit of that. Some of you over here. That, and then we'll grab a couple other rock types. Get you in here. Doing anything we can to use a couple different types of rocks. Doesn't really matter where they go. Just as long as they break up some of the monotony. And the back of this, obviously, we can work on in a little bit. Right, so that's going to be cliffside number 1. And then over here, we'll go and do very much the same thing. Except on this side, these rocks are actually going to form the boundary between the caracal habitat and the red fox habitat. So we'll have a little bit more freedom to do stuff with the back end. Pull these out about like this. These we can start tapering down to give them a walkway into the canyon, maybe. There you go. Right, so this can be a little way for them to clamber out if they decide they don't want to be in the canyon anymore. And then back over here, we'll set these to the height that we want. This side is probably going to come all the way back to about here. We can expand the red fox habitat a little bit, since we've purchased a ton of extra space for the caracals by bumping all that out. And that'll probably just end up being hard shelter. And then this rock is going to stop right about where the door to the exhibit is. And that's also going to be where we start the fencing. So now we'll bump these down a bit. We'll cover up the last little bit of terrain that exists here. And then this is going to be the other side of the canyon. Then, just like before, come in with some rocks that have some different shapes. Start cleaning up some of these edges, making it look a little less uniform. Play around with some intermediate heights. Taking a little bit of care so that your caracals can't just climb right out. It's almost a little too craggy. I might give them a couple plateaus with the big flat rock that they can rest on. And then maybe a second one just a little bit lower. And then, with the big rock, we'll just actually adjust where that border is within the canyon itself. Little something like that. I think that makes it blend in much more nicely. I also really like this. I think I want to do the same thing over on the other side. Just a way for them to walk out if they would like to. Using some staggered rocks as a stairway almost. Something like that should be mostly navigable. We might need to fiddle with it later on to make sure they can actually traverse it. And then we'll just fill in the bottom. There we go. As long as we're down here, maybe roughen up some of this edge too. This is one of the places where I really wish I had the aquatic stuff researched, because the faux aquatic rocks are so good for this kind of stuff, but you can make the desert rocks work as well. And you can make any rock work as well. There we go. So that's roughly the shape of the canyon. I might, back here, put in a few more rocks. Just so that it's not like a sand hill. But these, I'm actually going to turn a bit. Because I want a very smooth and uniform rock face back here. I could use cladding for this, but I think the cladding would look a little too uniform almost. So I'm just going to use the big rock faces instead. And then as it gets closer to the other stone ramp we have over here, we'll have it go up a little bit. Something like that. And then these we can basically hide in the landscape for the most part. Alright, so now, from a guest perspective, I've got a big empty canyon down here. We should probably work on the concrete wall that's going to sit here as well. So let's grab our concrete. I don't want the grid concrete. I think I can just work with a 4x2 panel. And we want random rotation off for this. Give ourselves a little bit of room to work with for putting in sod and mulch and stuff like that. And then also think about how far you want this wall to go, because it's also going to be part of what keeps the caracals in. So maybe start like over here. Now in a lot of places in the zoo, when we've made a concrete wall like this, I've made small angular adjustments to each portion of the wall to make it look a little imperfect. And just as a point of contrast, so that not everything in the zoo looks exactly the same, we'll try and keep this one straight for the most part. So we'll go a little something like that. And then we'll grab a big chunk of this wall. We'll slide it over here. That's not going to work the way you want, because there is a bit more of a pronounced curve there. Alright, then let's try and freehand draw a curve. What's the worst that could happen? Make minor adjustments each time. So far, so good, I think. We really wanted to get a perfect curve. Obviously, we could use the mud pillar for this, but I don't think it's necessary. And you're almost at the point where you have a straight shot. Wall's kind of high. Might need to bring it down a bit. I think maybe 2 more of these curves and we're probably good to straighten out again. No, definitely more than that. I think you keep curving all the way to the rock. It's not going to line up with the path, but it's going to line up with the exhibit. And then just straighten out here since you're at the end. Yeah, that wall is just a little bit too tall. So this should all be a group anyway. We'll go ahead and make it one now. I can't believe that freehand curve came out so well. Very happy with that. Alright, you are a group. And we're going to pull you down just ever so slightly. To right about there. That should still be higher than a caracal can use to climb out. Over here, obviously we can raise it up a little bit. Where the habitat boundary is. We'll do something like that. I've lost my last piece in the ground, so I'm just going to duplicate this one. So that's one side. The other side is going to need to get raised up starting about here. Looks about the same height. We can fiddle with it later. And then this is our viewing gallery, which is also nice, because if you're standing here, it looks like it's well framed. Again, thinking about sightlines is one of the things that we can use to elevate this build. And this can just be a nice little, like, nature plaza. I don't think I'm going to do anything too fancy there. Okay, so, step 1 finished. Step 2 is that inside the canyon, maybe we'll use a little bit of red rock for this. Inside the, and also let's have a random rotation on. Inside the canyon, I would like to have a couple of climbing pillars. I'm actually going to use the smaller rock for this. Where are you? Oh, O2. There we go. These aren't going to be anything super fancy. They're just going to be piles of rock. We'll make, I don't know, 3 of them. This we need to be really careful with because we don't want them to be able to jump out. I think we might only be able to make 2 of them. No, we could go with 3. You can get bumped back like... Oh, that was a duplicate. Okay, sure. You can move to about here. Raise you a little bit. And then connecting each of these, we're going to have climbing frame. Because these caracals need a lot of climbing enrichment. If only I could click one. They really don't want to get clicked right now. Okay, there's a way around this. We can go to the zoo information. We can grab a caracal. We can go to... No, it's through habitat. There we go. Yeah. Species. Caracal. Here's all my climbing gear. Alright, that's what we wanted. So, we can get a couple natural trunks in here. We can make it look like these have fallen against these rocks. Although, if I spin this 180 degrees, maybe I can attach them front to front. So bury this end in the rock, like that, and then spin this, and then get it to attach like that, so that it looks like one large complete log. It's so early for detailing, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I can make this look nice. We're gonna hide some of the ends of it in a little bit of nitraria. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks about how I was expecting it to look. And then here at the top, if I rotate you 180 degrees, I can get you to look like you are the dead roots of this tree. I go a little something like this, maybe? Hey, something like that. So we'll do like one or two of those, but then we'll also have some actual climbing frame up here. Like this. I'll rotate you around just a little bit. To about there. I think they probably need... I think they probably need a full thick log. I don't think I can just give them a thin log and have them climb on it, which means that these wireframes aren't really going to work. I'll need something bigger than that, like you'll do. Pull you all the way down. You're going to cross over like this. And then we'll just duplicate you. Slide you over to there. We'll rotate you 180. So that you don't look the same as on the other side. And then we'll just grab the little 1 meter. Slide you into place on the end of this thing. Try to get as reasonable a join as you can. Like, that's okay. Something like that. Do the same thing over on this side. And then this should be a climbing structure that they can use. The join is a little messy, but I think they'll live with it. I think that's fine. I don't love it because I want to have a network of them that goes all the way like across these three. And I'm not sure how I would join it here. I think I need a join on a platform. 4x4 is too big. 1x1 is too small. So we're going to have to make a bespoke 2x2. Maybe have it a little higher than the log. I don't think it coming directly into the logs looks great. I guess having it come in above the logs could be fine. Let's try that. And then grab me thin climbable logs. These I want to hold the corners in place. Something like this. So that it looks like it's supported by something. And then for the big log, I'll have you connect in on one of these. I don't hate that, actually. I think that looks fine. And actually, it looks good enough that I want to do it on the other side as well. Just have it be a post at the other end. So that's one of your climbing frames. I'm going to grab this thing and I'm going to duplicate it. This one, please don't angle slam me, thank you. This one is then going to run from over here over to our next rock pillar. And I'm also going to duplicate you and slide you over so that you attach to it as well. And then we'll make sure that you're actually supporting that platform. And then we'll make sure that you're actually embedded in the rock as well. So it's at a slightly different height, which I like. And then it's also a way to get over to this platform. We're going to make a group out of this guy, because I think this is going to be a useful shape going forwards. We're going to move it over here. Give it a little rotate so that it's sitting at a different angle on this rock platform. And then we're going to lower it a bit so that it is also at a different height than its friend. We're going to shorten this log up a bit so that it joins in right about there. And then we'll give you your own attachment point. That goes all the way down into the rock. And then we'll move this over here. This one's going to be nice and tall. I am going to slide it away from the habitat entrance, though. Maybe right about there. This is probably a useful shape for us to turn into a group as well. We'll duplicate you. Rotate you so that you can join into this thing. This one's going to be a little taller again. Maybe up to like that. And then you're going to keep sliding down so that you join into the rock. You're going to get shortened up. You could almost get away with a single 6-foot log there. But we'll stick with this. Right, so that's their basic climbing frame. And then we'll also have, well, here also I think we can expand this one a little bit to look nice. Even though this does bring it closer to where the habitat barrier is going to be, I still don't think it's going to be jumpable for them, and we can put a little bit of, like, mesh in as well, just to make sure that visitors can't, like, throw anything into the Caracal exhibit. So we'll have something like that, and then our last one is just going to connect up over to this side of the rock canyon wall. So you're going to go like this. Except here, you're going to get bumped out a bit. So that you actually make it onto that canyon face. We don't need to do any adjustment of heights there. Although we could make this one a little lower. Just so that no part of the climbing structure is exactly the same height. And then this side, I think, is going to stay isolated. Because I don't think I have enough room to put a rock pillar in on this side. I think it's just too close to the habitat wall. This needs to get covered up, though. There we go. So I don't like that this section of the exhibit is going to be totally empty. Not exactly sure what to do with that. But we'll make it work. So what I want to check at this point is how much space do you have in this exhibit? So we'll rerun our null barrier. And then we'll take this part of the habitat to this part of the habitat, replace it with wood temporarily. And then I would like to unpause quick and see you recalculate. You don't have enough space. Why is that? Not enough climbing room. Okay, so we need to add way more climbing structures. This is only half as much climbing as they actually want. Can they actually reach it, though? Are they seeing it? Really? You can jump all the way up there. And all the way up there. Okay, Caracals love climbing. No, wait, I haven't put anti-climb on this fence. That's why. Just for the time being, make it brick. Now let's see how you handle that. Smart guy. Still a lot of places they can climb out. Okay. Alright, well, let's do a little bit of work here then, I guess. Bump this rock. I really don't want to run a barrier along the top. I don't think that would be very fun, and I'm trying to avoid that as a solution. I think this is going to be too traversable for them, so let's just get rid of that. You can show me your traversability now. They can still make it up there, huh? And obviously over here, too. God, that's too bad, because this part looks really cool. Alright, let's try this then. Select all of these rocks. Select all of these rocks. And move them up. Now, can you traverse that? No. But you can jump that wall. Right? Yeah, jumpable escape. So this concrete barrier needs to go even higher. Which I don't like. And then this one also needs to go higher. Now can you jump it? No, but you can climb this rock wall. So if we just make this rock wall higher. That should take care of it. Okay, we have an exhibit that holds them in. A couple problems still. They don't have nearly enough climbing space. They don't have hard shelter. But they're great on total area. So this is good. It means that we could bump this wall back a little bit if we really wanted to. We could think about a way to turn this into their hard shelter to make them like a cave or something, but I don't really want to do that. That's going to bring them close to this barrier. And then they also just need more climbing opportunities. So to me, that means grab a few more of these trees. And scatter these in some other places around the habitat. I do think that the dead tree aesthetic down here is kind of neat. Let's see how much that gave him. That took you from 98 to 118. What just escaped? Oh, the fox. Right. That's fixable. Just need to adjust this barrier a little bit. And then this specifically needs to be chain link. Yeah, we're gonna lose a couple gusts over that, unfortunately. Oh well. Where am I gonna fit more climbing opportunities for you guys? How about over here? We can have one of these guys that runs all the way to the back of the exhibit. We'll just extend this part out a little bit. I am loving that Advanced Move is cooperating with me and not giving me any guff about not having them lined up on a grid. That's great. So that's another one. They've got really nice interconnectedness here. I like the way that this has come out. I just wish that I could do anything over on this side of the exhibit. Maybe I can. Let's grab a fourth rock. And we put it like here, but we make it real tall. Right, so we go like this, and then we rotate you a bit. So that shouldn't be jumpable. But I do like that it gives them a staircase up there, basically. And then we'll grab you. We'll duplicate you. And I want to line you up like... Oh god, that's gonna ruin everything. I want to line you up like this. Where you are right on top of that point. And then you run directly over to that rock. I think you've just about got it. I think you've gotten it exactly. But then that needs to be higher. Like a lot higher. And then we'll keep pulling this part down. We'll pull this part over. Reset the whole orientation on that. There you go. And then grab this thing. Just stick it in there. Maybe? It's something, I think. I think it's something. And then grab this tree again. Stick it over here, change the angle up a little bit. Get it to like right here. Change the angle down a little bit. So that you've got more tree exposed. Yeah. Let's give him a tree over there. How's your climbability looking now? 78. Okay, we're getting there. 160 of 189. And can you escape? Yes, you can escape again. How did I give you the ability to escape based on those changes? Mysterious. Pull these rocks higher then. It's a big old rock wall over there, and I don't like it. But if it works, it works. And can the kids get up there? Because sometimes they can sneak through cracks that the adults can't. Right, so space 78, 160 of 189. It's crazy how much climbing space they need, man. Maybe we add one more. We grab you. And we have you come over here. And you're also a connector into this big rock. I feel like they're going to be able to use that to jump clear out of the habitat. Yeah, you're probably right. So how about here? I think that looks much more sane. And then because I'm extraordinarily lazy, rather than finding the right beam for the bottom of this thing, I'm just switching it upside down and I'm using that to connect it to the ground. There it goes. So you come out a little further. And then you come over here. And you give me one of those. That should be all the climbing space you need. It's not. It's 92. Oh my god. it's so much climbing. No, we can fix this. What if you built them like a little ladder that goes all the way to the top of this platform? You know what I mean? Like, you grab this thing, and you have it stick off the edge. Something like this. Okay, yeah, and then what? Just give it a second. I think there's something here. These run all the way to the bottom, obviously. And then you take these. You pull them down like this, and then you pull them out. Dude, they're gonna jump that. You can't do it. They're gonna jump it. This is so jumpable. Okay, what if you just copy it all the way down? What, and make it like a like a like a skyscraper for Caracals? I don't know. Build it and see what you think. I don't know how I feel about it. On the plus side, it's a lot of opportunity for enrichment items. On the downside, like, realistically, how are they supposed to use that? Like, I'm sure they'll be able to. They can't jump it. That's huge. For now, leave it, because you need to figure out how their hard shelter is going to work. And conceptually, I like everything that's going on here. How much extra space do you have right now? 1389 out of 756. And I think the max number of caracals we'd ever have is like 4, right? Oh yeah, they really do not like having friends. Okay. In that case, let's turn these back into null barriers. And we actually... Oh, shit. Is this still Caracals? No, okay. Caracals. Let's go fix our management areas. Work zones. This is Horn of Africa Animal Care. Add Caracals to it. Good. Guest services. Yeah, they don't include the exhibits. Alright, we should be good. The point was... Let's see how far back I can pull this before they start to get grumpy. Now, they can escape, but if I click and unclick real... Oh, never mind. They escaped straight up. Alright, fine. Be like that. Here's your brick wall back. Now you're not escaped anymore. There you go. 1040 of 756. We can bump this barrier in. Because it's going to hide behind a rock wall. And then we'll just change you to brick really quick. $972. I'm pretty comfortable with 972. And then how's your can I get out of here overlay looking? You can't get out of there. That's great news. Alright, so let's go back into barriers now. We can change all of this back to null barrier. As it was originally intended. How high does your barrier need to be? I think it's 10 feet. It's 10 feet. And 10 feet is like 3.5 meters. It's 3 meters exactly. So if you grab... This is just going to be to mark out how tall the back wall needs to be. I'm going to build it to 4. Just as our marker. And I'm going to put these in a couple places. These are just my sightlines. I don't think I want the whole back of the exhibit to be rock. This habitat is already extremely rock forward. So let's get a hard shelter in for them. Let's go with a breeze block, maybe not breeze shelter. We'll orient it like right here. It'll go back a bit. It'll go around a bit. And then they'll have a little way to get in here. And then we can move this guy around a little bit, reposition it, till we get it to where we want it to go. I think that looks pretty good. I would like to raise these walls up a bit. And then I would like to sink this entire thing again. Just so we get the arch a little closer to the ground. And then we'll have a little bit of rock work here, a little bit of rock work here. So we'll go nature, rocks, work by price descending. Do not snap, please, thank you. And give me random rotation on for this. We know it needs to be about this tall, so I'm going to keep this height line across the entire back. All the way over to the gate. I can get rid of those walls. I don't need to sight myself in anymore. I also want to get rid of this rock. And I'll have actual wall here. Hate the fact that this is brick on the back, but we can change that. That's the Hamadryas baboons. That's not done yet. The best way for this to look, I think, is going to be plaster. Or is this mud wall that we used over here? Plaster wall, yeah. Alright, well... mud wall does have that nicer texture. Go 1x4 mud wall. So that's 4. I want to take it down to about 3, so it needs to be about this high. Line it up with the door. Roll something like that, maybe rotate it a tiny bit. Yeah, oh god, rotate, random rotation off. Again, we'll just do a little bit of freehand curve here. So the idea here is that we want it to look like a pretty neutral wall in the back, so that guests don't really notice it. I want this exhibit to feel bigger than it is, and like it goes back farther than it does. So if we take a mud wall, we paint it in a nice sandy tone. Should do a pretty convincing job of just looking like it's part of the horizon back there. And then we'll get like a little bit of a sigmoid curve going on in here too. Then if we do one more, it should vanish right inside that rock. And then for the top of this gate, that's where the little 2x2 mud piece comes in. Maybe even the 1x... yeah, the 1x1 will work fine here. So you're going to go like this, and this, and like this, this. Paint that as well. And there you go. A mostly seamless little wall that we can dress up with a little bit of extra rock work. You should join it to... yeah. You should join it to this, in case you need to move this stuff around later. And for the love of God, make sure that your Caracals can't climb it. They love climbing, man. That should be tall enough. I don't like how repetitive this looks. Let's rebuild some of this so we're over here. It's the kind of repetition that I'd like to try and avoid. It's a little better. Be really, you can get like a tiny bit of terracing in here, but not much. Otherwise, they are going to be all over it. And then come in with like some really flat textured pieces at the bottom. To fill your quota of making it look not so rigid everywhere. Something like that. Let me know what you think. That's a little dubious, but I think if I get rid of this rock, we should be in business. Really? Alright, what if I raise this rock? There. Obviously, all of this back here is escapable, but, you know, that's expected because we haven't finished the wall yet. Alright, let's get this set then. We can now demarcate exactly how far back the habitat barrier is going to go, because we know where their hard shelter is going to be. And scooch that in a little more as well. Bring this guy over here so we know how high we have to make this rock wall. I think this is gonna work, man. I think this is gonna look nice. And not only is it going to look nice, it hasn't taken me nearly as long as I thought it was going to. I thought making this thing was going to be an ordeal. Now, granted, we're not done yet, so it still could. Technically. But I don't think it will. You've got your sightline in. You can get rid of that now. And then bring these all the way down so they just fill in the gap at the bottom. I like having a little bit of exposed terrain here and also over here. I may actually try and get a little bit more of that. Okay, not that much. Let's maybe turn our intensity down to like 20%. I just like that it looks like the sand is starting to reclaim some of the spots in the exhibit. And pull it up over here a bit. Pull it up over here a bit. You know? Just makes it look a little nicer. Right, that's not going to pull because the barrier's there. That's good, though. And then I don't need you. Let's go mud wall for this. Where's my grid piece mud wall at? Mud wall 2 meters. How did I do it over here? You did breeze block all the way up, huh? I like the way this came out. We could do it like this. The mud wall panel 2 meter by 1 meter. Alright, we'll do it that way. But we'll probably need mud wall panel 2 by 4 in that case. It's because this habitat needs to be so dang high. Like, literally that high. I mean, sure. This is obviously going to require a custom roof. Well, maybe it won't. Because we did build the foundation on the grid. And if we built the foundation on the grid, maybe we can get away with building a roof on the grid. And then we can cover up any weird gaps in the wall with, like, custom trim. Send you along the swing. A seam. We can't have a seam. There we go. Is that a seam? I can't tell. Oh, that's a seam. There you go. Alright, and then we'll switch to the 2x2 to do the top of the arch. You're going to need the 2x1 to do the top of the arch. Though, honestly, you should probably get rid of this. And make this breeze block all the way up. And also around on this corner as well, just so that it lines up with the top of the arch. Not quite. There you go. You like that, though? Because that's kind of ugly. No, it's okay. It's alright. We can work with that. And the way that we can work with that is by putting breeze block columns at every corner of the building. which I think is also going to help it mesh well with the other breeze block buildings that you have in the zoo. I'm pretty sure they do the same thing. So what that would look like is this. Yeah, I like that quite a bit, in fact. About there. And then over here, we want just a little bit of it poking out. Maybe like half. Line it up with that. Line it up with that. Something like that. Continue this over to this side. Like that. And then we're going to grab our classic wooden beam, wooden post. Painted post, painted beam. There we go. That's what we were looking for. And then this is going to be our trim across the top. So it's going to look a little barn-like, but we know that it's not a barn. It's a serious building for cats. How dare you? Okay. Still not sure I love this, but I think I'll at least give it a try. And then how do we want the roof to work on this thing? Construction, architecture, roof, corrugated plastic roof. That grid height is too high. There we go. So we'd have one there. But I do kind of like how the wood is exposed on that style. So if we wanted to do that, that would be like this. And then it would mean that we'd have inverted corners here. You'd have a normal corner here. And then you do a double pitch here. That kind of works. Dude, it more than kind of works. I think that's the one. I think that's it. I really like how this looked on the American Standard Donkey Barn. So I'm going to keep the same style here of having like a wood roof fill. And then we'll have the same thing over here. And then we'll need the trim to wrap around this way too. And then the only question we have at this point is that enough hard shelter for them? And we hope that the answer is yes. I mean, that's looking pretty good, man. We can clean up the back, because the back is going to be visible from this viewing platform. So we can tidy that up a bit, but I'm not worried about it right now. From the front, it looks pretty nice, man. It looks pretty good. We unpause quick. Hard shelter 100. Climbable 100. It's going to be even better when the two baby caracals leave, because there's only really supposed to be two of them in here. I think that's what we're looking for. I think that's the exhibit. So let's get in here. We want to give them their bedding. Get some extra large bedding in here. Get them their drinking. Gonna have one water pipe here. I don't really care about the way that the train is being deformed because I think it looks neat. We're going to give you lots of enrichment items up on these platforms so that you're incentivized to come and hang out with them. We'll give you a sprinkler up here. You can come and check that out. Little gift box over here. Give you a rubbing pad over on this one. Although we should orient it in a way so that the guests can see you using it. Maybe like that. Some prey items. You can come and hunt a zebra over here if you want to. And then where's your food trays? Because you're going to need one or two extra food trays as well. We'll give you a food tray over here. And I think that's all we've got for you for now for... Oh no, we've got all this stuff up here. Blood scent marker. Gonna have a blood scent marker over here that you can come and explore out. You can have a normal cardboard box on this platform, because this platform doesn't have anything yet. And then you can have a block of ice over here, because there's not much reason for you to come over to this side of the plateau at this point. I feel like that's just going to roll into the canyon, though. So that's all your enrichment, and then what's your tolerance for foliage like? Oh, you don't care. You are A-okay with foliage. That's wonderful news to me. So let's grab some huge nitrario. And we're going to stuff this into all these crevices. Random rotation on, please. This is what we're going to use to kind of mask the transition points of the rock, so it's not quite as noticeable. And with all the shade in this valley, and I'd imagine like some rainwater collection, there's going to be a lot of moisture down here. It would be a great place for these bushes to grow. Around every single one of these, I'm just going to put bushes. And then lining the back here as well. Switch over to some dry bushes. Switch over to some leafy bushes. They're going to be climbing the rocks over here. I'm going to be climbing the rocks over here. Good start. Get some along this back wall here too. This is highly viewable, I guess, so we want this to look interesting. Okay. Maybe a few more back here too. Just a couple more. Just a little bit more. And then maybe just like a few more over here. Much better. How are you feeling about foliage now? Halfway there. Beautiful. We've got space for a little bit of drin grass. We're gonna go with large drin grass. We're gonna sink it. This is also gonna line a lot of this rock work. I'll get a very small spattering of green drin grass in here too. Still arid, so we can't go totally crazy. But we're coming up on some more lush parts of, lush relatively speaking. We're starting to transition into the dry savanna rather than like the fertile desert. So it's still a step up in terms of the kinds of plants that you would expect to be growing. Keep scattering some of this around. There's a big barren patch over here that we could stick some grass in as well. In fact, that would be a great spot for a tree, too. I don't think we're ready to go full palm tree yet. Sudanese frankincense tree, though, looks great there. Love that guy. Don't like that he's going through the branches there. I think you're pretty good there, though. Salt cedar, a little too big for my tastes right now. I could do a quiver tree or two, though. I don't want to put it too close to the wall. I don't think that they can climb these, but I don't want to find out. Maybe we got time for like one date palm. Nah, don't like it there. Blocks the view of the entrance to the habitat. or the entrance to the shelter. You can have one small salt cedar bush. With the caveat that I'm going to make it look like it's kind of dead. Okay, I think that's all the plant work that we need to do. I think that's all the enrichment that we want to do. So now we can start thinking about setting up this guest viewing area, because this is not finished. We're going to go for glass. We do not need it to be one way. So I think I'm going to grab you. Stop random rotating. Stop position snapping. This should be a 2x4 piece, right? So if I grab a 2x2 piece and I rotate it 90 degrees, it should sit right on top. Something like that. And I really wish I had done these as like one giant segment now, because this is going to take forever. So you go here, painted wood. This is going to be a nightmare. This is why you should build everything in units instead of just winging it. Because I want to make a really nice wooden window barrier. And because I have curved this concrete wall, it is going to be a nightmare to put it together. You're going to go like that. You're going to go like this. I may just freehand it, honestly. I don't think anyone will really be able to tell the difference. If you can, leave a comment and let me know that you can tell the difference, and I might go back off camera and do it the right way, but know that I really don't want to. And then at the top, we'll do a rounded brace. This is just an extra level of protection that isn't necessary mechanically, but will ensure that these Caracal can't just like jump out. We will duplicate you, and we're just going to slide this along. It's already screwed itself up. Oh. Please just cooperate. It's not going to, because you know that you rotated all of these pieces. Yeah, it's going to refuse to cooperate with you because you rotated things. Alright. Well, buckle up. We're doing a lot more by hand than I wanted to. Okay, it's going to be worth it. You're going to look at this at the end and you're going to say, man, I'm glad that I spent 10 minutes of my life working on making the perfect planet zoo barrier. You're going to tell your kids about this. You're going to send them this episode, be like, look at how proud your dad was of his zoo project. Behold his caracal habitat. And again, the way that you would fix this, and I don't think it's worth it at this point. This is gonna look nice. I'm not even self-glazing. I legitimately think this is going to look nice when we're done. But the way that you fix this is you would build one unit of the wall. And you would build one unit of the wall rotating none of the pieces along the y-axis. and then you would save it, and then you would copy it over, and it would not try and do this orientation nightmare to you. But because we rotated a few of these pieces when we were putting them on, it is going to refuse to cooperate with us, and it's going to fill us with sadness. And it's actually not that bad to rotate it around to get it to join up where you want. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. We can make do with this. And just remember, it's going to look good at the end. You haven't done a glass barrier like this before anywhere else in the zoo. Guests are going to be really excited about it. And after this, remember that you get to put down mulch to hide the gaps in the terrain. You love that. You love putting down mulch. Oh, we're almost done. Would you look at that? Time flies when you're having fun. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the one. Not sure I love this hard edge here. Might try and think up a solution for that. But we can do that in a little bit of touch-up. Give me mulch. Get it to just below the dirt. Or just below the terrain. And then just start jamming it in there. Okay, maybe you want to pull it up a bit. What if you go to like there? Does that help to break up the angry straight lines? It kind of does. It kind of does really well. How about that? And then this should just be a straight shot. Okay, it looks pretty bad here, but I think we can fix it. This is outside of the habitat, so you can use things that are not native. I'm going to use dry buffalo grass. Random rotate me. Sort of working. Sort of, but like not really. You might want to come through with dune grass as well. Wait. Try that again. There you go. Alright, grab some of your drin. Dune grass a little taller, a little bushier. We'll use normal dune grass so it adds a bit of greenery. And part of the goal of this as well, I am going to continue the curb along here. The dreaded curb. That I will never do on recording because it is just one of the most insanely tedious things you've ever seen. But part of this is to make this section of the zoo feel different than other parts of the zoo. Because we're coming out of the Horn of Africa section now. We're going to be coming into what I'm pretty sure is going to be dry savanna trails. I think we're going to have a path here, and we're going to have a path here, and those are going to be the eponymous savanna trails. In fact, this entire exhibit here might end up being elephants. I'm not positive. I just know that they need an enormous amount of space. So coming through this section, I want the zoo to start feeling like it hasn't felt in the Horn of Africa section, and also how it hasn't felt over here in the Arid Sahara section. And I think putting in a bit of grass like this will do it. It's going to make it feel a bit more lush. It's going to make it feel a bit more verdant. It's not going to make it feel like you're suddenly entering a rainforest or something like that. But it is going to make it start to feel like you're in a different region of the world than you were previously. And I think that's really the goal. Make it a very small... No, because there's a speaker there. Can I get a very small nitraria? Yeah, some small nitraria will do it. A little bit of dry nitraria as well. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And then I want to grab very small rocks. Sort by price ascending. If I rotate this pillar, and I just have... Oh, yeah. That's actually exactly what I'm looking for. Check this out. Give me you. Stop random rotating. Thank you. Duplicate this. Slide it over just a little bit. Rotate it just a little bit. I want it to look like they're little... It's like little rocks on the ground. It's like a little rock pile. Make this a group. Move it. Stick it over here. We're gonna put like 10 of these down. And these you can advanced rotate, or random rotate. Let's grab any random piece of stuff. Tell it can random rotate, and then go back and select your rocks. Oh. Oh, I kind of like it in here, too. Well, no. Leave it for now. We've made a neat little bit of rock here. It's a very curious object. You're not random rotating, are you? You should be. Oh no, I lost it. Come back. My rock. No. Fine, I'll grab you instead. My poor rock. Fine, I'll random rotate you myself. Scatter these around, just like little piles of pebbles or something. And we'll use them to fill some of these weird gaps that show up in the mulch. Vary the height a little bit too. Okay. This obviously needs to get cleaned up a little bit. I'm not going to do it right now. We can save that for later. Let's move you over here. You are meant to show Caracal. You are meant to advertise Caracal. Go ahead and sink you into the earth. That is too high for a child to read. Sink it further. There you go. And then bring the donation bin over as well. Rotate it so it's actually facing the path. If you could. There you go. Maybe bring it a little closer to the path too. There you go. There you go. Alright. So that's one of them. You show Caracal. You speaker Caracal. You are going to overlap like crazy. We're gonna have you on just... We might even get rid of you. We might get rid of you and just have this other speaker be louder. Bump that speaker to 14. Bury you in the dirt again. Bury you in the dirt. And then slide you over to between these two rocks. Pull you a bit closer to the path. Maybe a little twist. Move you over here. This is Caracal. This is Caracal. The faintest bit of overlap, I'm just going to tank that. And then let's sink you into the ground. Alright, are you set to Caracal? No. No, not link seeding. Educational content. Caracal. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What am I forgetting? Don't you normally do... You should probably unpause and just let this run for a bit, because it is February. Oh, he's so fast. Enrichment's only 96. What's up with that? More food enrichment. Have I invented all of your enrichment? No, I haven't even started to invent your enrichment. Alright, then I'll just leave that for now. Are you assigned to a work group? Yes, you are. Okay. So, biggest thing I really want to solve is what should go on these ones. Do I have any Caracal art? I do. Oh. Well, well, well. That's not quite right. Get a Caracal in there. Maybe a little closer. Why you gotta do this? Also, you can let it run. Pull you out to about here. Give you one or two small bushes to hide behind. Because you are naturally shy. Too big. Just right. Should it just say Caracal? You could change the color. Changing the color would be a good start to having it look a little less Spartan, let's say. Do these need to be here? Kind of. Is the solution to just have that say, oh, you know what these can be? No, dude, I'm thinking about this all wrong. Facilities. Media devices and education. Yeah, this is gonna be a little info booth. you making noise in here? They sound mad. Why do you sound so mad? What's wrong? Okay, he likes the log. Oop. Hey, man, they sound mad all the time. I don't think they are, but they sound like they are. Alright, so we'll have like 3 of these. This is liable to change. I would like to build them into a more formal structure than this. But for now, I think this is what we're going to do with this spot. Like, I would like to bump this wall out and have it be a... Man, maybe I should just do that now. Because I think I can see it in my mind's eye. So you need to go. Yeah, no, I can see what this is going to be. I have a plan. We're going to start from here. Duplicate you. Rotate you 90. Then we're going to pull you out. Also, I finished vet research. All on pause. I just need to get to vet research. You do it now. Yeah, there's a plan in here. Somali wild ass. To foot and mouth is he's active. I'm sure it'll be fine. Did we get anything for the Somali wild ass from that? No, that's American donkey. Did you get any enrichment? You got a food enrichment. What was it? Water jet rock, maybe? Somali wild ass. It's filters. Species. So can you tell it's been a while since I played Planet Zoo? So Somali. I don't see anything new, so I don't think it was new. I think like it might have been new for them, but we had already unlocked it for another ungulate. On pause. So here's 90-degree angle. Here's the plan. We're going to take this thing, and we're going to bump it out like this, but we're also going to use it to straighten the edge of this. Sacred Scarab Beetles died? That's fine. They're set to like auto-reproduce. We're going to make a little viewing box. Like this. He's going off over there. Then we're going to take a conservation education board. We're going to rotate it so that it's just barely coming out of the wall. Something like this. And then like this. And then you somewhere in the middle. Then we're going to copy you. We're just going to have you run along the back of this. And then I guess we'll put like a roof on it. A little bit like this. And yeah, I know that it does this in the back. I think we're just going to live with it. No, we're not. We're going to straighten it. We'll have this be a flat back. So we've got that. Now we've got this weird corner, which I think is a prime opportunity to do something a little fancy. Is there a 1x1 concrete? There's a 1x2. I can get that to work. Rotate you like this. Pull you all the way down. Bring you up a bit to about here. You need to turn it even more. And then you need to turn even more. And then you need to turn even more. And just to hide the joint inside the other cement that's already there. Grab your mulch. $1 meter circle isn't quite what we're looking for. This'll work. Raise this all the way up. And then give me a... First of all, let's change this color. This I want to be a much darker shade. Yeah. And then give me a King Protea. And then give me a Drin Grass. Right. So now we've got that nice little bump out. These need information on them. What matters for a caracal? Well, let's go read about them. I'm pretty sure they're not like a conserved species. Caracal. General info. No. Natural habitat. No. Species data? Yeah. No. Species of least concern, not endangered, tamed and used for hunting in some cultures. Okay, so exotic pet trade. I think is one. Yeah, poaching and exotic pet trade. There's domestication. What else would matter? Maybe like land sharing versus land sparing? That could be one. So those are caracal topics. Then we can come and get our little caracal guy. We can angle snap. Why are you so... You do not want to conform. At all. Maybe try turning rotation back on. No, it hates it even more. Alright, then do this. Duplicate that, and then change it to a caracal. And then we'll put this little guy in the wall. We'll spin him 180 degrees. So you can go here. And then you can come over here. We'll flip you 180. And then maybe so it looks like they're standing on something, we can do a little concrete bump out. Can probably unpause for this again. this is something. Dude, I think this is more than something. I think this looks really good. And then, because this is desert and hot, we're gonna go grab a sunshade. I don't think our tusked sunshade is going to fit, so we're gonna grab one of these. Yeah, I do like this one. So we grab this bit of rope. We grab this bit of rope. Frick. we grab you and you. I need to save this as a specific blueprint rather than also including the shell for the info box. Because this is a neat design. I do like it. And then grab you, and then grab you, and then grab you. Duplicate just this. Bring it all the way over here. Slide it into place. Right about there looks perfect. Oh, it's so good. It's so, like, what else can you say? It's so good. Duplicate these, move them down a little bit. Move this bench out of the way. You can go here. And then you can go here. You can go to, like, here. We'll find a place for you later. And then grab this guy. He's your group now. This is Sun Canopy. And we should change the color a bit. Let's continue with our Nations of Africa theming. Where do Caracals live? Friggin' everywhere. Okay, well that's fine. That means we have our pick. Horn of Africa countries in Google. We've already done Somalia. That was blue and white. I think we did Ethiopia for the Somali wild ass. That was like the African colors. Red, green, yellow. What about Eritrea? Eritrea flag. It's green, blue, and red. We could try that. I think this only has 2 dye channels. It does. We could make it green and blue. Okay, we definitely need to invert the order that we do those colors in, or it looks real bad. That's not bad. I don't mind that. And then we'll do the same thing over on this wall. I think. I don't know that we need that many info booths, but maybe we do. I mean, just having guests educated is good for these conservation boards. And I love the way this bump out came out. I think it looks really good. We have painted wood. Yeah, beam round. I want beam round. Beam round. Painted thick. That's the one. Just feel like I want a little more decor on the top of this wall. So that's what we're gonna do. Dude, he's going crazy. Yeah, just something like that. So it doesn't look like a completely flat roof. No, not you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you got it. Make that a nice dark brown. That looks good. Finished vet research. What do we got? Somali wild ass done. Huge. What did we get from your last research? We got a food enrichment. The keyboard. Okay, we have to give them a keyboard. That's not negotiable. I would love to put it on like a little concrete plinth. We'll do that later. For now, take one of those. You guys as well. Take one of these. Play that funky music, donkey. And then we can start working on a new animal. We should probably do the Caracals, since we just built their habitat, and we want to see what else we've got available for them. So let's work on that. Research is catching up, which is nice. Got the animal talk going. He's climbing that pillar like nobody's business. Kissing non-stop. I love that they can jump that. Can you jump this one too if you're so inclined? He thought about it. He kind of made it work. You can't like jump out of here now, can you? You look like you're about to try something. It's a good thing we checked. He looked like he was up to something suspicious. Grab this. Not that. Yeah. That's good enough, I would say. Alright, how about now? How clever are you feeling now? Ooh, not so clever, huh? Unlucky. And I think I'm still fine with how that looks. Alright, so we'll do the same thing on the other side. You. Change your color. This nice sandy wall. Is that the same color you used over there? COA 47D? Yes, it is. Okay. And then we will do... This needs to get recolored. Wait, all this needs to get recolored. How did you lose your color? No, that's the correct color. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. We duplicate you. We angle snap you. We pull you out. You're gonna come out a little further than your friend did. Because we want to get you flush with the path. No, maybe that's fine. Get rid of this bush. Don't need it. Duplicate you. Pull you all the way along here. And then we'll have you turn back into the rock side. In you go. We'll have you flip up like this. So there's your little rock bump out in the same way that you made the other one. We'll pull you out further and down, and we'll have you make the little curb. We'll make that white. And then this one we'll just have go all the way around here. Oh my god. Can you? There you go. You had it the first time. You just look like a complete curb. There you go. So we could put even more animal info stands over here. The other thing that I was thinking we could put in this spot is a restroom, because we are a pretty long ways from restrooms, although I think that would be pretty big, and it would probably cut into the, different category, there you go. It would probably cut pretty severely into the caracal habitat. We can take a look. Yeah, it wouldn't be that bad, but I don't know. I just don't feel like there would actually be a restroom there. What I do think would be neat to put here is the paw print education station. And also the education station soundboard. And then we can get a similar sunshade over here. Oh. Oh. You never split it from that group, did you? No, you didn't. Alright. You can fix that, though. Just be very deliberate with your clicks. Split this from the group. And now it's its own group. We'll call this Sun Canopy. And now when we duplicate you, it's just you. Okay. So you'll come over here. Angle snap off. And then we'll have like a little kids learning station here. With a bit of a shade. And then we'll go... Have I forgotten how to spell Boogaloo? I was A-L-O, okay. We'll go... Do you want to snap to the right thing? Absolutely no interest in snapping to the right thing. Try resetting orientation quick. Oh, there you go. Okay, you got it. Let's see. C. A. My thinking here is this would be a nice spot to take like a selfie. We'll call it Caracal Ravine. And then we'll change the color of that. Not horrible. That's pretty horrible. That actually kind of looks like dinged up metal in a way that's kind of cool. Don't like that it goes into the wall. Alright, we'll just leave it like that. Caracal ravine. Grab another one of these caracals. Stick him down in there. There's a little bit of art. This is the spot where we're going to get some palm trees in. Yeah, date palm works great here. And then one over here. And then we'll do the same thing with beam painted round, where we just run it along the top as a little bit of architecture. There's the spot. So if you're coming to the zoo with kids, this is kind of place where you're like, oh, this is a thing that I can just have the kids do for a little bit. They can see what kind of sounds a caracal makes. And then they can go to the exhibit and they can hear the sounds a caracal makes, because the caracals I've got right now are talking non-stop, apparently. Hissing and growling at each other all the time. Change the color on these. Not you. Good. I don't think this is half bad. This, I think, needs a little bit of work. Maybe like some small drain grass. I also think we're going to bring the brick curb through here. And that's going to go a long ways. Random rotate me. And give me a small nitraria. Not the blooming one. That'll do. Little bit of extra visual interest there. Little bit of visual interest here. This is kind of naked. We could add a planter box in there. But for the most part, I think this is pretty good for the caracals. I would maybe like to add a couple of rocks down here. Oh, interesting. He's even close enough to throw them to feed them. But this has all worked out really well. It's an area that's going to benefit a lot from a little bit of a decorating pass once we get to that point. All of this can be filled in with like some nature scenes. This is going to be an actual shop. We're going to have a full information center there. That might be where we end up sticking a bathroom in. We might do a bathroom on the other side of this building, like here, and then we can build something out from there. There's all kinds of options that we have over there, but I guess for the rest of the time, let's just let the clock run down and admire a bit of what we've done. I think this came out really, really well. It's sort of what I had envisioned. I think the middle part of the gully turned out a lot more cluttered than I expected it to, but that's just because... Oh, he's sitting on the log. Oh, it's so good. You having a nice time? That's a 5-star gold caracal, by the way. I don't know if you're impressed by that or not, but like we're doing well for ourselves. If Feel's thinking about jumping up there checking the sprinkler out. Probably shouldn't be eating processed meat that's gone bad, but maybe you started before it spoiled. I don't know. This is good, man. I'm really happy with how this came out. How's the zoo doing overall? Let's take a look at overall wellness. Caracal's most appealing habitat species. That rocks. Average animal welfare is 95. Doing good. Our animals are very well taken care of. Spotted hyena to 3. What did we get out of that? Striped hyena, sorry. Toy enrichment, food enrichment. Really? Let's go talk to them about that. What new toys did you guys get? Anything? I don't see anything new there. They look like they're having a nice time, though. It's our most donated animal. Facility broke down. Do we not have a mechanic on this? We don't. Oh, these aren't in a work zone. Okay, that's something to fix. Sure. Hold on. This should be guest services. No, this is, that's Arid Sahara guest services. They are in a work zone. Are my mechanics in Arid Sahara overworked? Not vets, not keepers, not educators. Mechanics. No, he's chilling. He is only level 1. Maybe we bump him up by 1. Horn of Africa Animal Care is a high workload, though. I haven't noticed anything breaking, so I can only assume he's keeping up. What did we get for American Standard Donkey? Food and toy enrichment. I can't imagine that the donkeys are going to get anything different than the Somali wild ass. Oh, maybe they will. They get a plant screen. You guys want a plant screen? You wanna do something with this? We can use it to cover up this weird corner of your exhibit that I haven't done anything with. Also, holy cow, are you guys on contraceptives? There's a lot of you in here. Let's see about that. Yes. There's only 7 of you? Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. It just looked like there was a lot, I guess. Yeah, you can clear that alert. Someone will be by to take care of that soon. Probably. Maybe. Red fox expecting offspring. Baboon is about to make... Okay, baboons need to go on contraceptives. That's the 4th time I've seen that this episode. You, my friend, you need to chill out. You are getting too good at that. Where am I? This is the hyenas. You're in Horn of Africa. I just really like how this brick looks. That's all. That's all I have to report on it. But I'm glad I took the time to do it, and I'm going to extend it through here. I also set up like a little nature scene over here. We have a pretty nasty line of sight issue over here, but it actually looks directly into where the stables are for the Somali wild ass, and we'll probably put some kind of nature scene there, so it shouldn't be that bad. Caracal 1. Toy enrichment. What you got? What do you now know that you didn't know before? equipment. It all looks the same. Okay, we'll keep waiting. How's the rest of staff doing? Anybody else look overworked? Arid Sahara Animal Care, 2 of my 3 vets are overworked. I think that's fine, because they're also doing research. Every Horn of Africa keeper that I have is overworked. Okay, so we need more keepers for Horn of Africa. Let's get 2. And then also for both of them, I'm going to say that the only thing you guys are allowed to do is clean habitats. And tend exhibits, I guess. But we don't have any yet. So don't worry about feeding. All that you guys are going to do is clean. Off you go. Arid Sahara Animal Care looks totally fine. A couple of them are busy, but most of them are efficient. I could give them another salary bump, but we'll wait to see how we're looking. All of our educators are great. They're chilling. They're having a great time. Mechanics are fine. Security guards are fine. Caretakers, surprisingly, are fine. Vendors also look fine. I think our staff is in a pretty balanced place right now, then. I love the sign. The zoo is humming along. What is our profit looking like lately? Finances. We're making $40,000 a year, roughly. We spent a ton on purchases this year, but we still made more. Okay, we're going to promote some staff. Let's keep bumping our vets up, because then they'll be better at research. So all of the vets get promoted, and then let's also say all of the educators get promoted. We'll make our vets and educators super good, and we're just going to keep spending money until we have a more balanced budget. Like, do you remember year 1, 2, 3, 4 of this file? We couldn't even finish stuff because we didn't have enough money taking out loans. That's not us anymore. We got to find a way to spend more. Which I guess we'll get to. Like, we could bump your food quality up a little bit as well. We can take you to grade 2. We've done a ton of hyena research. We can probably take you up to 3 if you're not there already. We don't have 3 yet. You guys are hungry? Someone will get to you. Don't worry. You can take Somali Wild Ass to 3. Take care of that. You're still at 2. Ooh, what's going on here? Where are my caretakers? This is overflowing. Caretakers. I guess this lies. You do only have 1 caretaker for the Horn of Africa. Okay, that explains a lot. 2, 3, 4. You guys can do all of that. That's fine. Horn of Africa guest services. Horn of Africa guest services. Horn of Africa guest services. Pays to look around every once in a while and just see what's going on in your zoo. There's a little bit of garbage in there. Because all of these bins are full. That said, I'll still give you a second bin. Actually, we should just be... We can do trash and recycling at this point. I think we get some extra conservation credits out of it if we do. I'll give you one of those. Our Caracals are about to mature. We're going to need to kick them out of that exhibit when they do. So we're going to go a little over schedule today. Normally we would be ending on January 1. But if I don't kick these mature Caracals out as soon as they become mature, I'm gonna forget. A mechanic will get to that, probably. You ready to mature yet? God, you're cute when you're little. This is a little guy. With pretty good genetics. Not much in terms of longevity. You not much in terms of fertility. Vet research done. Caracal 2. That will have gotten you toy enrichment and food enrichment. I don't think they're going to mature. It's Jan 15 already. I'll just write myself a reminder. Frozen blood pumpkin? Yeah, you need the extra food enrichment. And I think this counts as food enrichment. So here, you can have a blood pumpkin over here. There you go. Now you're happy. So, next time we play, we need to remember, get the matured Caracals out of that habitat, because otherwise they're going to start fights like nobody's business. The next habitat that we're going to work on is going to be this fox habitat right here. They are doing great on space, so we could bump some of this out to the back. This isn't going to be a big habitat overall. There's just going to be a couple of them. And then we're going to move on to Hamadryas baboon, which I really don't know how I'm going to make this one work, but I guess we'll figure it out. It's a super oddly shaped habitat. And then, because we have an enormous amount of money for it right now, you know what, let's do it now. Because then I won't forget. Because we have an enormous amount of money and we can afford these things, let's get our walkthrough exhibit in. I'm pretty sure that's what the border was for. But you're going to go in right here. You're not obstructed. You just think that you are. You're going to go in right here. And these are going to be our... Oh my god, you're not obstructed. Please. Mercy. The bench? Are you mad about this bench? You're giving me the black box of happiness. You're not giving me the red cube of sadness, so I don't understand what the problem is. But why? Don't add it to a building. It would look so good here. Can you please just cooperate? I'm so sad. This was going to be the perfect spot for it. Maybe if you rotate it the other way. Did you hide something else here? I don't think so. Try it one more time. My sadness is immeasurable. Okay, hold on. Just hold on. Because now will you let me bully this thing back into place? Found of us. I thought I was onto something. We're gonna keep sliding you out until you find the spot where it cooperates. There we go. I'll take it. It's not exactly where I wanted it, but I'll take it. If it's gonna fight me that hard on it, sure. Sure, man. And then we're gonna change all of this. These are all going to be netting. For now, we're gonna build some custom ones in later. Actually, give it wire mesh. Yeah, that's the one. Wire mesh, okay. Wire mesh, okay. Ceiling, wire mesh, okay. Yeah. So for now, that's how it's going to look. I think I'm going to put a big rock wall on the back of it, and then it's going to like taper down, and it's going to look really cool. View exhibit animal market. We are looking for fruit bat. How many of these can I have? Can I see your Zoopedia? Fruit bat. Filter group 5 to 35. Holy, okay, we're getting all of them in. Buy them all. Get them all in there. Oh, wow. Oh, it puts all this equipment in. Oh, that's so cool. And they go in immediately? I've never used one of these before. So, exhibit ecosystem has welfare issues. Temperature's too hot. Well, so that's going to be a problem because it's just a mesh exhibit. Let's see. 21 to 32. I could give you like 28. Okay, it works. I'm not gonna say that I understand why it works, but it works. And then can I get like 2... Do I put donation bins right in that thing? Duplicate. Oh my god, I can. Yeah, man, just put 2 donation bins right in here, and then give me, media devices. Give me 2 of these bad boys. You don't need to angle snap where we're going. We'll have one sit here. Fruit bat. It's very laggy inside here. I'm not sure why that is, but hopefully it clears up. And then one of these. Right, okay. So that's everything that is going to exist for the Horn of Africa section. We're going to do a lot of decorating around this thing. We're going to have a nice fake wall in the back. We're going to finish up foxes. We're going to finish up Hamadryas baboon. We're going to finish up Egyptian fruit bat. We're going to make another food court back here. It's going to be like a little river cafe. And then that is going to do it for, well, and also we need to clean up all this stuff in the middle. So probably 5 more episodes left for the Horn of Africa. Mostly done with exhibits at this point, but after that we've got a little bit of touch up to do to make it polished, make it look like it's a complete part of the zoo. If you are enjoying Empirical Sahara so far, make sure that you like the video and you subscribe to the channel so that you can see when more videos are going to be coming out. If there is something different that you would have done with this Caracal exhibit, or you have any suggestions for how we should work the other exhibits in the rest of the zoo in the future, drop me a comment and let me know what you're thinking. And until then, I will see you in the next one. Take care. Have a good rest of your day.